today you guys are going to see a snapshot of how one of those cadre meetings would go on a normal basis.
Developing lessons in a collaborative teacher setting is the key starting point in supporting a Common Core Standards learning environment.
All teachers are stakeholders in this program, and that's what the cadre meetings allow us to do, because we all meet together to develop these units. So it's not as if two of us go off and we do this and we hand it to other teachers and say, all right, this is what you get to do. I mean, I wouldn't say there are disagreements in our meetings. There are. We're professionals. It happens in any business, but we come upon agreements, and we all have the units that we like more than others, and that's true also. But no, I would say that the Common Core Standards have really led to this consistency and throughout the district.
I think it's always good to know that people are sharing the same struggles that you are. And there is comfort in that when you can come to a meeting and say, this is what my kids are struggling with. What suggestions do you have for me? And just being able to pull all of our best resources together and share them with one another. Because I have no problem stealing from them if it's something that I can use. And I think we all feel that way.
It's a group effort for us, and and it's good to know if your students are struggling with something to ask someone else, and if their students didn't, just to see what they might have done differently in the classroom. It's very beneficial.
We have spent countless hours calibrating our grading and making sure that we're clear on what the expectations are for the students for their writing pieces, which I think is helpful. Because I've been in a district where the teacher collaboration is not strong, and I know what that feels like. And I can say that this, for me, works much better.
And then what I found was hopping around from building to building to building is like, wait a minute, what do you mean you're doing a unit on the Odyssey when you're doing the Holocaust? Just like you said, you're doing the American Revolution and you're doing it's like, what do you mean? So then it was the conversation switched to, wait, we've got to find some common ground here, because we have to do what's best for kids. And in order to get to these standards, we're really going to have to look at this as a shared community of professionals and decide what's best to do and how to do that work.
Our learning target is I can analyze a poem for diction, tone, and theme using the TPCAST strategy.
Kentucky is a Common Core Standards pioneer, the first state to adopt the program in the fall of 2010. Grantmakers for Education hosted their member briefing in Northern Kentucky within the 18-school K-12 Kenton County School District. Grantmakers for Education members were able to experience the district's shift to Common Core Standards through the eyes of students and teachers.
I mean, it's no longer acceptable in our classrooms to just say the character set, and to just give us an answer. Why can you say that? And we consistently ask and remind them for textual evidence to support that. So it's just become a habit for them, I think, and hopefully will continue to be a habit for them just to pull evidence from text.
Instead of being told it and just remembering it, it actually you know how to use it and why it works and how it works.
They ask a lot of just deeper level questions that you really have to think about it, not just the surface of reading it, the plot, but a lot deeper, and the meaning behind it.
You really have to actually read the book. You have to, if you don't read the book, they'll know.
When you read the book, you actually try to think of why they wrote this instead of just reading it to get it done.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that transfers over to when you do the end of the year testing, to how you actually think of the book instead of just reading the story. And it helps you with the questions or on demands.
It's kind of a relief, because sometimes we just randomly flip through the book, if we're not doing anything in class and we have just extra time in class. We'll kind of flip through, look at, this is what we're doing future on. But when she hands us papers, it's kind of I've never seen this before. It's something new to exercise with.
I came from Cincinnati Public Schools, and when I came to Kenton County, it's so much harder. Not harder, it's just a lot more challenging.
We do have school-wide writing expectations that are the same across the board, that we nickname the writing non-negotiables. For us, it's just a way to make sure that those expectations are the same in a math class as they are in a science class, as they are in a physical education class when they're doing some writing in there for their health and PE.
I had never done public speaking before, but we've done it more and more, and it's just natural to get up there and speak because everybody has to do it.
To do it,
Since
it's
everybody
kinda
has
safer.
to do it, it's safer than you being the only person who has to go up there and risk embarrassing yourself by saying the wrong thing.
I also feel like since everybody didn't really know what was going on, they felt more comfortable to ask questions earlier. So you really understood it more.
Because it was new for everybody.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing though is even just with this first group of kids that came into the 6th grade this year, how much improvement we have had in the standard of writing. So of course these teachers are going to even reap the benefit of that the next year, and then and we will continue to hopefully, everything willing, that we'll continue to see that growth in our district.
I love the Common Core. I'm absolutely a total proponent. I think when you look at it, and I show it to the kids, it's learning target every day. And we look at it and we say, is this something you should know how to do when you're an adult? And they said, absolutely. There's nothing in there that nobody would want their own kid, my own children, to learn to do. Figure out, main idea, figure out vocabulary, what's bias, what's fact and opinion, what's, be able to look at different sources and come together and say, well, what's the truth?
Preparing us for the real world when, you're working in jobs, it's not just by yourself, you're gonna be having to take other people's opinions and think over them and think of what you need to do.
Last year, I can remember every single thing that we did. I can remember exponential growth and the Pythagorean theorem and square roots and all of that, because it was done in a way where instead of being taught, you had to learn.